Hey everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. I've got a quick tutorial today on making a kind of faux wind chime. A yard decoration, a porch decoration, whatever. Like a wind chime, but without the chimey part. Right, so that I've just got some original Sculpting. It's not what I would use for jewelry, but it's just going to be hanging, so it should hold up okay. I'm just going to form a kind of torpedo shape, and then back at the back I'm going to kind of taper it down just a little bit, pinch the end, and just like that, we've got a fish. Alright, now if you want him to have some gills, just take your circle cutter or your X-Acto or whatever tool you've got. Just make a little indent. Again, same thing for his eye, just choose a spot. I apologize if my hand gets in the way. I'm still trying to learn with this new setup. It's not ideal, but it's way better than what I had. Alright. Pinch that in just a bit more. Alright, and you can take your same ball tool or whatever rounded end tool you're using. And you probably couldn't see that at all. Just gave him some lines for the tail. Alright, you can see I'm keeping it pretty thick, but not thick enough that it's going to need an armature or foil or anything on the inside. Alright, and I will slit the end and then start a jump ring with a little bit of bacon bond after I do the decorations on it. Alright, now the decorations on the side can be anything from a cutter, just using the rounded edge, not the cutting edge. Just gonna put some circles in there. And you're going to flip it over and do it on the other side. Alright. And there, other than putting the jump ring in, we've got a done fish, which will turn out looking something like this. Alright, I've given this one a nice little curve, so let's do that. I'm just grabbing the tail, and I'm not going to mash, because the original Sculpting is pretty soft. But I'm just going to grab it and bend a little bit. Alright. Okay. And then I'll just do two more, like that. And do maybe a little rubber stamp texture or a square cutter, or like this one I just used my knitting needle and did some lines. And this one, I again just used my ball tool, and I did some little spirals. Alright, so I'm going to finish these up, and I'll be right back. Alright, this is something I get asked about quite often. What size I buy my jump rings in, and I buy these little variety packs, and I just got this off of eBay. And they go from about a 2mm up to a 10mm. Alright, so on these fish, I'm going to use the 10mm. The 10mm ones. If I could remember how to talk. Alright, so I'm just going to take my X-Acto. I'm going to split his little nose. I'm going to take some Bacon Bond or some liquid Sculpey or whatever your liquid clay of choice is. I do have some Sculpey 3. Some Sculpey 3. I do have some Fimo on the way. I've had lots of questions about Fimo and whether I've tried it and etc. So I ordered some. Alright, so there's our little jump ring. Putting the bit of liquid clay helps it to where you don't have to press the edges together near as much to get it to close and make a seal. Alright? Alright. 2 more fish and I'll be back. Alright, here they are. These are going to go in the oven for about 40 minutes at 275. It's 250 on my oven, as I explain often, but my oven bakes really hot, so I'll be back. Alright, while those are baking, we're going to make something to hang them from. This is just a stamping block. It's an acrylic block, just comes from the craft store. Probably in the stamp department. This one actually came from a garage sale. And I got it and didn't even know that I didn't even know it was for stamping until I got into that sort of thing. Alright. You don't want it to be too thin because this is just original Sculpey. Excuse my nails, I've got alcohol ink all over me. Because this is just original Sculpey, it can be a little brittle. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is flatten out one edge just a little bit. See if I can move that up a little bit. Alright. Then I'm going to take my knitting needle and I'm just going to go up a 1/4 of an inch or so. Alright. This is what we're gonna make. Alright. Then I'm just gonna rock my knitting needle in sort of a fan pattern. Alright, now that I've gone all the way around, I'm just gonna give it some holes. Stay far enough back away from the edge so that it doesn't crack. Alright, then I'm just going to bake that. Alright, I'm so sorry about that, y'all. My husband just walked in an hour early. I wasn't ready. So, I did do the other side of this piece, and I gave it a bit of a curve before I stuck it in the oven, and it's hot. Alright. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is the kind of nautical shell looking piece. Whoa. These little doodads. Alright. Alright, so again I've got my stamping block, and I'm not used to working on parchment paper, so forgive me if I fumble. Alright, I've just made a tapered snake. Start at one end and curl it to the top. I've still got alcohol ink on my fingers, and no matter how many times you wash it, it doesn't want to come off. But if you touch the clay, it comes off immediately. It's the weirdest thing. Alright, so I've just got my knitting needle, and I'm gonna curve around, and I'm going back at an angle, if that makes any sense. And I'm just going to continue to go along. Now, as you get closer towards the center, you'll feel like you're not still going at an angle, but alright, then I'm just going to turn it over and going by my marks from the other side. When you get to the middle, it's easier to turn your piece around and go from the other direction. Alrighty. Okay, now I just need to put my jump rings in. Again, I'm going to use the 10mm ones, which I'm almost out of in this color, but I don't use this one very often. Alright, now you just need to decide how you want this to hang. Do you want the spiral to be up, or do you want it to be down? I think down in this instance makes it look more like a shell, so that's what I'm going to use. Alright, might have made my slice a little long. Oh my gosh, I still can't believe I haven't put this upside down yet. I just continue to wait on it. and I try to put where the gap in the jump ring is into the clay. If it's offset the least little bit, it'll hide it, and it'll help it be a more secure bond. Alright, and then I'm just gonna go directly across from there and do it again. Alright. Now that's one of the reasons why I like to use the bacon bond, because then you don't really have to squeeze it together to get it to hold that jump ring. Just a gentle pressure will pull it back together, and the bacon bond will hold the jump ring. Alright, so I'm going to do this 2 more times, and then I'm going to bake them, and then I'll be back. Alright, while waiting on those to bake, I've got some 91% alcohol and some alcohol inks. And the colors that I've got are, I have no idea what color this is because it doesn't say on there. I think it was like a butterscotch, watermelon, and I want to say this one's a grape. Who knows? Alright, so what I'm going to do first is with the cotton ball, makeup sponge, whatever your choice is, I'm just going to wet the whole surface of the clay. This is baked. It won't hurt anything. It wouldn't hurt anything even if it was raw clay. Alright? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the butterscotch. Give it a shake. Alright, and that's all I'm wanting it to do. Is to run a bit. Alright, and then I'm going to take the watermelon. If I can get the cap off. And I'm going to turn it around the other way and try. No, my fingers will be red the rest of the day. And then while my cotton ball is still just a little damp, just want to touch the edge. That'll help it to go ahead and go over the edge so you don't have white spots. Alright, I'm just going to give that a second to kind of dry. Don't heat it with your heat gun while it's still super wet, because it's alcohol and it is flammable. But after it starts to dry for just a couple of seconds or two, you can hit it with your heat gun as long as you're far enough back. Alright. Little bit of purple. I love this color purple. Thank you, Crystal Joy, for the suggestion of the color. Had that eggplant. I may regret that, but hey. And I was right. Alright, and if you don't like it, if you want to tone it down, just hit it with some alcohol. Just the straight alcohol will take some of the color back out of it. You could drop drops of alcohol onto the surface. I can't even squeeze any alcohol out of this. Aha! But you can see that'll give it a different look. There we go. Didn't really get much of that butterscotch color on there, did we? Oh well. There's playing around with some alcohol. Alcohol inks. Alright, I would let that dry, flip it over, and do the other side. I'm going to do all of the pieces this way. Wipe my fingers off just a tad. And I've kept my parchment paper clean the whole time till the very end. I should be so proud of me. Alright, here's the one that I did ahead of time. There's the shell. And the nautiluses. Not sure. Not a lie. And the fish. Alright, super fun project. There's no way I can get it all in frame, but there we go. A cute wall hanging, hanging on your porch, hanging in a window. Super, super cute. Alright, I shall holler at y'all later. Bye now.